Can You Hear Me was so simple yet so profound. Simple in the sense of there wasn't any big, huge, you know, beginning, middle, end, big, huge happenings, but I was very invested in this. Really nice shots and footage, and I thought that told a story, and the narration, the voice acting and the narration was beautiful, and the child's movements and actions in the film were beautiful. I just thought this was a really good way of showing grief and what happens, and guilt and confusion, and especially from a child's point of view, like what you're thinking when somebody dies, and is it my fault? And what did I do wrong? How did I cause this? And somebody taking accountability for something completely out of their control and that they'll never have answers for. It was sad and sweet at the same time, and I just thought it was really well done. Visually, the cinematography was good. Sound, the sound was really good. And if we didn't have that, it would have not been as emotionally impactful. And I really thought the use of music was good. It was very subtle, and I could still hear the narration very clearly. So really well done. Good job.
That was brutal and very, very kind of not loving, but in a very, very beautiful way, especially with no more information about the circumstances or how or why or any of that, but just, I think everyone talks about when somebody, passes away, the how it impacts the people closest to them. And I think it's like common phrases that we hear a lot of, my hopes and prayers, or, my love goes out to the family again and again and again. But this is taking something that I feel like is a very common idea that we all acknowledge of how much it must impact the people closest to the person that's passed away, and putting it into a very, very real perspective of just how much it impacts, just what that impact is. And I felt like this film had an incredible impact of its own because of the message that it was trying to convey. And I think it did a wonderful, wonderful job.
This made my heart hurt. Just the way the poem goes, it makes you have a feeling that the mom committed suicide because the kid's blaming himself for the death of mom, which makes you think it wasn't cancer, it wasn't anything like an accident. It feels like it was something that was done on purpose, like maybe mom had a mental health issue, mom was struggling with something, and the kid doesn't know why and is looking for answers. And it's answers that adults in this child's life cannot give. Because if mom had an illness, you could say what the illness was. If it was a car accident, you could explain that. Things like suicide, you can't explain. It's hard to explain to kids about mental health. So it makes you think maybe it was that. Maybe there's another reason that mom went. This poem really does touch the heart, and to show a child and what this kid's doing, because it shows what mom was probably yelling about a lot when she was still alive, about picking up your toys, burning the cookies. It shows that she was struggling with mental health and was taking it out on the child over and over again, to the point where this child's blaming himself now. And it's horrifying, but the way this child spoke at this voiceover, it really tugs at the heartstrings, because you could feel the desperation in this child's voice, that he really wants answers, and that will never come. It's the old question, why? And it was beautifully spoken and beautifully depicted.